Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour. I know a lot of people like these, so if you're one of them, stay tuned and you will definitely be seeing that today. And if you're not, you can just click the X button. I'm just doing this for people to watch, but for also to see how my books have changed. I will be doing this at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, and in the between I'll be taking pictures of the changes that happened throughout, and then I will do another bookshelf tour at the end of the year where I will show you the pictures and then do the detailed bookshelf tour to kind of show you the additions that I have gotten for it, if there is, and all that good stuff. For me, it sounds like a really good idea for me because it'll show me how I've changed with the way I present my books. Yeah, so let's just get on with the bookshelf tour. So these are the shelves that I have. So first let's do a overview of the books. First I have my mass production series and not series on the very tops right there. Then we go from size bigger to smaller, and then we have more mass production books on top. Then we see lesser bigger to smaller and mass productions. Then we have same thing, and then on the bottom the last bit of my books. So here we are at the first top shelf that I am going to share with you, and if anybody could tell me what this is, I thought this was hilarious. I found this at work. Then on the other corner we have my 3D glasses for The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, which I watched in 3D and absolutely loved. And then we have Bilbo. Now we're gonna start up here, go down that way, and then so on and so forth. The first book is The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. Then we have Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. We have Richard III by William Shakespeare. Then we have A Prayer for Owen Meany by John Irving. Before We Were Free by Julia Alvarez. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashares. Then going over here we have these. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Then we have The Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I Want It by a Kiss by Tracy Ann Warren. I have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough. Then we have The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. Message in a Bottle by Nicholas Sparks. Beautiful Creatures by Kemi Garcia and Margaret Stoll. Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. Ray Bradbury by Fahrenheit 451. North Anger by Jane Austen. Persuasion by Jane Austen. Le Morte de Arthur by Keith Baines. The Selected Poetry of Keats. Speaker for the Dead by Orson Scott Card is the second book in Enter series. We have Chrissy by Catherine Marshall. Blood Orange by Drusilla Campbell. Anthem by Ayn Rand. Julie by Catherine Marshall. A Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin, which is the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. Summer of Swords, which is the second book. A Clash of Kings, which is the third book. A Feast for Crows, which is the fourth book. Dance with Dragons, which is the latest book that has come out. We have Anne of Green Gables by Ella Montgomery, which is the first book in the Anne of Green Gables series. Anne of Avonlea, which is the second book. Anne of the Island, which is the third book. Anne of Windy Puddlers, the fourth book. Anne's House of Dreams, the fifth book. Anne of Ingleside, which is the sixth book. Rainbow Valley, which is the seventh book. Brill of Ingleside, which is the eighth and the last book. Then we have Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, which is the first book in the Outlander series. Dragonfly and Amber, which is the second book in the Outlander series. Then we have Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Then we have Son of a Witch, which is the second book. Then in this base right here, I should have Angels and Demons, but I am reading it. The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, which is the second book in the Robert Langdon series. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoos by Stieg Larsson. The series is called that also. Then the second book, which is The Girl Who Played with Fire. Then the last book on this shelf is the first book in the Ender series called The Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Now on to this shelf. In this little corner right here, we have Darth Vader's soldier. And then here we have a gift card for Barnes & Noble, which I got this Christmas. I just like to keep it because I really like that picture. Then here is my cat, Tabby's treats. So let's start over here. 20 Years After by Alexandre Dumas. It's the sequel to The Three Musketeers. Glaciers by Alexis M. Smith. Of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Then we have Scream for Me by Karen Rose. Notes from Underground, The Devil and Other Stories by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, and this is one of my favorites of Shakespeare. Have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks. Keeping Faith by Jodi Picoult. The Guardian by Nicholas Sparks. Nectar in a Sieve by Kamala Markandeya. Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. The Storyteller by Jodi Picoult. Bad Monkey by Carl Hiaasen. The Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri. I'm not going to pull this one out because it doesn't really have a cover, so what's the point? Edgar Allan Poe's Complete Tales and Poems. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling, which is the 6th book in the series. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which is the 7th and last book in the Harry Potter series. Brazinger by Christopher Paolini, which is the 3rd book in the Inheritance cycle. Inheritance Change of Heart by Jodi Picoult. And all of the rest of the books, except for the last one, is all by Jodi Picoult, so I'm not going to say her name again. Vanishing Axe, My Sister's Keeper, 19 Minutes, Perfect Match, Plain Truth, Salem Falls, Mercy, Sing You Home, Handle with Care. Then the last book on this shelf is A Monster Calls, written by Patrick Ness and illustrated by Jim Kay. And this story was inspired by an idea from Siobhan Dowd, who died before she or he could put the story into words. And here's this shelf. Over here we have this Pepsi bottle, which I really like, and these pens that are shaped like lips and a heart. And right here we have The Pillars of the Earth by Kettle Follett, which I'm waiting on doing my wrap up to give away. Here on this side we have Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg, North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, and Secrets by Jude Devereux. Then on this very end we have Sanctuary by Nora Roberts. Then on this very end we have Sanctuary by Nora Roberts, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, Charlie St. Cloud by Ben Sherwood, and The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. Auschwitz, A New History by Lawrence Reeves. Then we have Buried Prey by John Sanford, The Map of True Places by Brunonia Berry, The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling, Her Fearful Symmetry by Audrey Neffenegger, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, What the World Will Look Like When All the Water Leaves Us, stories by Laura Van Den Berg, A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson, The Hypnotist by Lars Kepler, The Bookseller by Mark Pryor, Full Dark No Stars by Stephen King, 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, Can You Keep It Secret by Sophie Kinsella, I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, Just One Day by Gail Forman, Night by L.A. Wessel, White Oleander by Janet Fitch, The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, Mistress of the Art of Death by Ariana Franklin, The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. Aragon by Christopher Paolini, the first book in the Inheritance Cycle. Alice by Christopher Paolini, the second book in the Inheritance Cycle. Then we are on the fourth shelf. We're gonna start over here. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Safe Harbor by Danielle Steele. The Pact by Jodi Picoult. Rogue by Danielle Steele. The Firm by John Grisham. Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Insomnia by Stephen King. The Pelican Brief by John Grisham. A Bend in the Road by Nicholas Sparks. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And Howl and Other Poems by Allen Ginsberg. Then let's start at this end. Hate Ship, Friendship, Courtship, Love Ship, Marriage by Alice Munro. Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. Sitting In by Karen Stabiner. Reasons for and Advantages of Reading Stories by Lydia Peel. The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffenegger. The Collected Poems of Emily Dickinson. Horoscopes for the Dead by Billy Collins. Way of Silence by Heather Gudenkoff. The Man in the Iron Mask by Alexander Dumas. The Color Purple by Alice Walker. Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix by J.K. Rowling is the fifth book in the Harry Potter series. Nine Secrets of the Yellow Sisterhood by Rebecca Wells. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Dead Man's Walk by Larry McMurtry. This is the first book in the Lonesome Dove series. Also, I showed you the Lonesome Dove, and that was the third book. Comanche Moon by Larry McMurtry, the second book. And Streets of Laredo by the same author. Birdsong by Sebastian Falk. Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. The Women in White by Wilkie Collins. The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry by Rachel Joyce. Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. White Teeth by Sadie Smith. The Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. And now on to the last bookshelf. Right here we have a movie, it shouldn't be on this shelf. It's called Tin Man, the complete miniseries event. Then we have a bunch of papers and stuff. That's all. Then here we have the Columbia Soda Works Sarsaparilla Soda. Really liked it. And then let's go over here. Sarah's Key by Tatiana de Rosne. Getting Over It by Anna Max. What Happened to Goodbye by Sarah Dussin. Public Secrets by Nora Roberts. The Last Song by Nicholas Sparks. Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. Selected Poems by Robert Frost. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, the first book. Then the second book, Harry Potter and the Chambers of Secrets. And the third book, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And then Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is the fourth book. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. The Brothers Grimm 101 Fairy Tales. And then Huckleberry Finn by Samuel Clemens, which is Mark Twain's pseudonym. So that was my bookshelf tour. I hope you liked what you saw, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a comment and a sub, and I will see you in the next one.